the Small Business Show. I'm your host, Lori Brooks. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. This week, I have a very special guest, Gabriella Ferrera, a strategic development manager with Layton Incorporated. Layton works with thousands of businesses each year to maximize the benefits they receive from R&D tax credits, reverse sales and use tax audits, employee retention credits, and other tax incentives. In the past year, Layton has helped clients claim more than $50 million in tax relief to support their future growth. Gabriella works with clients across multiple industries and is here to share her expertise on how tax credits can be beneficial to your small business. Gabriella, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Lori. Excited to be here.
I am excited to have you and excited to dive into your journey that has led you to be with Layton at this point. But before we do, I want to rewind the clock just a bit. I want to go back to the days, say like elementary school, junior high. Think about a time when an aunt or an uncle or even a mentor asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? What was your answer to that question?
That is a great question. And I know exactly my answer because I absolutely parroted that of my older brother, who is, my biggest idol in life. And my answer was the same as his. And it was always just to make a handsome salary. That was always the goal.
That is a good goal. I love that one. So tell us about the steps that brought you to be a part of Layton as a strategic development manager.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my whole life has been, surrounded by salesmen and women and my father, family members, and we've always been in some element of corporate development. I've grown around that and I've seen it at a small level in terms of my father being a small business owner. We had a pizzeria and, the way my father treated everybody who walked in that door was with the same amount of respect. So that kind of carried into my sales life and being over in the strategic development here at Layton. I think that, people really feel how you treat them, and that can come through a Zoom computer, that's a phone call, whether it's in person. So I always try to make sure I'm being the most, genuine version of myself. And that's what, I think we all should expect from each other, doing business. People do business with people.
People do business with people. I love that quote. And it's so true. It really is. And that's why I brought you on the show, because we had the opportunity to meet during a small business networking event down at Boston Innovation Studios. And you go to these networking events and you have the opportunity to meet amazing individuals like yourself who are entrepreneurs within companies, who do amazing things and have amazing value to still share with audiences like this, which is why I brought you on. And I had no idea when I invited you to the show that your father was an entrepreneur and that he had a pizzeria. So once again, it lends credit to how it is you have this entrepreneurial journey that has led you into Layton. So people do business with people 100%. So how did you find out about Layton?
Yeah, so actually a very good friend of mine, she heads up the marketing department here in the strategic development division of Layton. And she knew I was looking for a transition and it just made a ton of sense with my background. I was looking for a new industry. I came from luxury hospitality, was always interested in getting into finance. And the best part of Layton is that we touch so many industries and we help so many businesses on an enterprise level, which is why, we had so much synergy in our conversations that, love of being able to assist with small and medium-sized businesses that, I really found my niche here.
I love how with the entrepreneurial spirit, you are still able to birth this entrepreneurial journey in and around an alternate business. And there's a lot of people who have done that with franchise opportunities and things of that sort. So entrepreneurial journeys are birthed in so many different ways, and they have so many different forms and fashions that they take on. They never look the same. They never start the same. And that's the point of the show, really, to just show how journeys begin and how creatively they can evolve throughout times. So tell us a little bit about Layton. Tell us how it is you guys work with clients and what it is you do, and then we'll dive into that tax credit that we were talking about.
Absolutely. The beauty of Leighton is that we are a global consultancy. We have roots in Europe, and we've only recently come over to the US. So it's a really unique situation, operating almost like a startup within, a huge global presence within the agency. But what Leighton does is we, aim to help small, medium, large size businesses, take advantage of niche tax credits that are complex to navigate, or they're just something that aren't on individuals' radar because of the, there are these big behemoth projects to be able to actually file for them. So Leighton takes the, kind of scariness out of that. And we handle our, engineers on staff, and we employ doctors, dentists, and rocket scientists, and we've got everybody amongst the 70 industries in which we operate in. So it's a really interesting, journey to be able to have your hands in all of these different pots of industry and be able to assist so many different people. It's my favorite part of my day.
And I was reading on the website, there is such a dynamic mix of individuals who are involved with Leighton. So you guys have, a vast network of professionals that are capable of lending credit to X, Y, and Z bit of information for specific industries. So that's outstanding. Please share with us all about the tax credit that you and I had the opportunity to kind of touch upon just a bit during that networking event.
Absolutely. So we were talking about the ERC tax credit, which really spans any industry that was affected by COVID. And the beauty of the ERC credit is that it was built out of the CARES Act to help businesses get back on their feet after, being impacted by COVID. There's two ways in which you can qualify, one of which is being impacted by a government shutdown, or you had a decline in gross receipts that had to be 50% in 2020 or 20% in 2021. That's looking back at 2019 gross receipts, which I think if we had, a conversation with some of your past guests and the small business network in general, that's a vast majority of them.
Right.
You were impacted in one way or another. Most businesses qualify for this. So what you're able to do is, depending upon how many W-2 employees you've retained on staff, you can get up to $26,000 back from them, which is a straight cash check back from the IRS. And unlike those PPP loans a lot of folks took out, this can be reinvested any way the business owner sees fit, which is really fantastic in contrast to the PPP loans that were specific to payroll.
And that's part of the reason why I was excited to bring you on, because it's such an inclusive credit, and it's able to be utilized in so many different ways across the board. And whereas the loans were a very, very specific usage point, it wasn't something that all businesses were capable of truly taking advantage of. Whereas this is something that kind of lends its assistance to a lot more industries and a lot more employers. So I just thought it was an excellent piece that you had mentioned when we were chatting, and I thought it was an excellent idea to, bring you on and have the opportunity to just share that bit of knowledge. And of course, neither one of us are licensed, so this show is not giving you guys tax advice, but it is giving you information about a tax credit that is available,
Tax
that
awareness.
you're in. There you go. Exactly.
Tax awareness.
Providing that awareness. So definitely. And those who are interested in learning more, definitely reach out to Gabriella, reach out to Leighton. And Gabriella, please share the best way for the audience to go ahead and reach out to yourself and to Leighton to go ahead and learn more about the ERC credit.
Yeah, absolutely. I will drop maybe a comment when the video is posted as well with contact information, but the best way to get in contact with us is S as in Sam, D as in dog, team at Leighton.com. Leighton is Leyton. That's the best email address to get in contact with us, and we can, get your needs taken care of and make sure that, you're not leaving any money on the table. This credit is time sensitive, so we want everybody that's eligible to take advantage.
Definitely. Gabriella, you are awesome. And I thank you so much for sharing a little bit about Leighton and sharing a little bit about the tax credit. If you had the opportunity to go back, say 10, 15 years and tell yourself just one thing, what do you feel like that one thing would be?
I think it would always be get on the plane, buy the ticket. Don't be afraid of anything. In those younger years, you don't get them back. And I think if anything, my life motto is, if it doesn't scare you, it's not worth it. So I think dive into those scary things, get on that plane, take that job, That's what I live by. So I'd remind myself 10, 15 years ago, am I scared? Yeah, it's probably worth it.
I love that. And I may have to go ahead and adopt that methodology myself. Get on the plane, just do it. So absolutely appreciate that. Gabriella, thank you so much for sharing your journey and for sharing all about Layton with us.
Thank you. It was great being here. Appreciate your time, Lori.
You as well. Thank you. Thank you.